Saying hi to Reby really quick. Okay, so for tonight's episode of Ted Investigates, we are going to be going over the medication that they gave Richard Allen called Hadol. It's actually that's the shortened name of the prescription, but we're going to take a deep dive on it. And yes, please like, share, subscribe. Really helps with everything. Okay, so here is what the pill form looks like. You basically will take a needle, you'll take off that yellow cap as you see, and you'll take the needle, you'll extract it through a needle, and then you'll make an incision, whether it is in the stomach, the elbows, an area where you're able to do the shot. Hey, Deb, what's going on? Okay, so we'll just give it another minute for people to hop on. I did a little bit of investigating today. We did a live show earlier, but I did a little bit of investigating on this show about some of the different things that this drug can do and some of the different side effects that this drug does. Hi, Ted, Lita, Raby. Hey, everyone. Hi, Firewife. What's up, everyone? Okay, so we are going to go to the next slide. Okay, this was a Reddit. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for me. Hold on a second. Okay, so this was a Reddit user review. So I went through a lot of the user reviews on this particular medication. Hey, Jonathan, what's up? I went through a lot of reviews on this drug. So I'll go back for people that just hopped on. I know we're a little bit earlier. So this is haloperidol. This is the drug that they gave Richard Allen in prison. And the normal therapeutic dose is 1 to 15 milligrams. Okay, and I'm going to read, I pulled up a couple of reviews of this drug, and I'm going to read it to you, okay? Because I feel like we've done a lot of talking about the Delphi case. We've done a lot of talking about suspects. And the one thing that the defense right now is really trying to argue is his mental conditions, because he gave a confession multiple times, but he also was on this drug. He was also, we're going to go over solitary confinement, how long someone's in solitary confinement. We're going to go over info that inmates have said about solitary confinement. But first, we're going to go over this real quick. So Reddit user review, someone that used the Hadol drug. I had a horrible reaction to Haldol. I believe I'm saying it right. I asked the doctor for something to calm me down prior to having an invasive scan, and I had been vomiting and in a lot of pain as well. So the Haldol would both calm me down and help my pain and nausea. Well, it did not. It basically made me psychotic. And if you go into the 113-page appeal with Richard Allen, he was psychotic. He was going through psychosis. He was banging his head against the wall. He was eating his own feces. He wasn't in the right mental state. Okay. I saw things. Richard Allen is guilty. There is another person. Remove her out of the chat. She's got blanket statements. She comes in every time and has no factual evidence. Lori F7. Richard Allen is not guilty. Please remove her out of the chat. We don't want any trolls tonight. You're a person that has no factual evidence to back anything, and you're the exactly what's wrong with this society. And I'm not trying to be mean here, guys, but a monkey that was just born could tell you that Richard Allen is not guilty. Please remove her right away from the chat. I'm actually, I'm banning her for good. She's out. You can go back to your other conspiracy theory chat. You are donezo. I don't know why she keeps popping up. Get lost. I am all open to people's opinions, but when you're making blanket statements without factual evidence, get out of the channel. I don't care if you think it's a different suspect. I don't care if you think it's a different motive, but when you're using blanket statements and you're not willing to hop on and explain yourself, the best way to really figure out a situation is when we have good dialect and we have good communication, not just somebody on their keyboard going, free Richard Allen after I did all this research. You are gone. See you later. Have fun with one of your conspiracy theory chats. You are out of here. Okay. So sorry about that, everyone. I apologize. That's that same person that keeps messing with me. She's got nothing better to do. Just go research why Richard Allen, why you think he's innocent. Okay. And then give me the facts, email me, and I'll hear you out. But if you're just going to just say stuff to mix it up with the crowd, that's uncalled for and we don't need you. No, yep, of course. You are welcome. Thank you so much. We are done with that person. That person probably still believes in Santa Claus too. Hey, Anna Polar Baxter, how's it going? Hey, Deb, thanks so much for showing. Okay, I'm going to get back to doing this. I apologize for kind of getting off base here. Okay, so they said Haddo both would calm me down and help me with my pain and nausea. Well, it did not. It basically made me psychotic. I saw things crawling up the walls that weren't there, and I got super paranoid. Sure that everyone in the ER was conspiring to lock me in the psych ward. All these symptoms disappeared once the drug wore off. I've never had any issue with psychosis before or after. Parentheses, my own mental health issues are PTSD and some mild depression. Wait, I actually got to move. I can't even read because of my little guy's in the way. 1 second, I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. But if that is what people who are psychotic feel like all the time, I have newfound sympathy for them. I don't know if that is common with people who have Huddle. I've seen it given it several times and never had anyone report those things. But in the words of Randy, it's a no for me, dog. Okay. Next slide. Sorry, Ted, I was getting coffee. Don't worry, Rebe. I saw her and I wanted to kick her out. Thanks, Jonathan, for the research. Got to say what it is. Great research. Thanks for your effort. An Italian Chicago personality is always welcome. Haha, very funny. That's good. Okay, while Haldo, which is pronounced haloperidol, treats psychosis, it can cause severe side effects that mimic or worsen mental distress, like extreme restlessness, confusion, agitation, hallucinations. Hello, that's what Richard Allen went through, and a life-threatening condition called neuroleptic malignant syndrome, NMS, with fever and rigidity, which can seem like going crazy, like Richard Allen bashing his head against the wall, eating his own feces, thinking he was God, thinking he was Napoleon, okay? A normal dad who had a 27-year-old daughter and he worked at CVS. Good guy, was in the military, never had a record, okay? Especially with abuse or underlying conditions. It can cause movement disorders and significant psychological changes, making someone feel out of control, so close to medical supervision. Yep. I might need another mod or two, but, bring it on, especially like I'm all open for debates, but, if you're going to sit there and like just, say a silly thing and then get kicked out, it's like, what good did that do you? Like, let's have some open dialect. Let's be adults and talk through it. Okay, ready? I'm going to read through this. And for those of you that are new on the chat, I was on earlier. We had about 60 people on. It's still a little early, but in a nutshell, the reason why I'm reading this is because the 113-page appeal that the defense was talking about, 40 pages was Richard Allen's mental health deteriorating, him losing 100 pounds, and then him confessing to his wife. Well, he's eating his own poop. He's mixing his poop in his own cereal. He's banging his head against the wall, and he's saying he's Jesus Christ. And then he admitted to his wife that he killed the girls. And then the wife said, which we have this word for word verbatim in legal documents, the wife said, Richard said, okay, I guess you're right. I didn't do it. I really didn't do it. So I'm just trying to get everybody up to speed here. Hey, Texas lady, what's up? Okay, let me start reading. Got a lot of different things in the way here. Okay. On day 17 of the murder trial, the defense rested its case for Richard Allen, who faces murder charges of Libby and Abby. We know that. I wasn't anticipating having this conversation quite yet. Judge Fran Gull, who's the demon, said after the defense announcement, I wasn't anticipating having this conversation. The judge met with the prosecution and defense and discussed jury instructions and the order of arguments. The judge said both sides received 2 to 2.5 hours to present their closing arguments. I want to make sure you all have the time you need. Yeah, right, Judge Gull. The prosecution called its first rebuttal witness at 11 a.m. I might blow through this if this is stuff we've heard. It was Brian Wilbur who had testified for the prosecution early in the trial. She questioned Stacy Diner. Wilbur previously testified that she was on the Monon High Bridge on February 13th, the last day Abby and Libby were seen. Okay, we can skip through this because I really want to go to his mental health. Defense attorney Baldwin had a few questions. He asked if police talked with her about earlier part of the day on February 13th. Wait, I think I added this. Okay, this has nothing to do with his mental health. I apologize. I was whipping this together because we did 2 live streams today. Okay, so Brian Harshman, a master trooper with Indiana State Police, was called back to the stand by prosecution. He discussed how Richard Allen had been in a one-man cell in every Indiana Department of Correction facility where he's been housed. That includes prisons in Cass County, Wabash, and Westfield. Harshman said he believed the defense attorneys were saying the conditions were very poor for Allen at Westfield, but he said the conditions weren't much better for him at Cass County, where he was in a smaller cell. He also testified Allen was not treated any more harshly at Westfield than he was at other facilities. The final rebuttal witness of Dr. John Martin, a psychiatrist who has more than 40 years experience as a medical doctor. He was a physician who administered Haldol to Richard Allen when he was in prison. Dr. Martin testified about Richard Allen's behavior. He discussed the difference between being a prisoner who is described as safekeeper versus an inmate who has a history of causing trouble. He also said there's a difference between having a one-man cell and someone who is in solitary confinement. Solitary confinement is absolutely hell, okay? And Richard Allen was there for 13 months. Dr. Martin said the people who are in solitary confinement are prisoners who have done something wrong, which is obvious. Richard Allen hadn't done anything wrong. He didn't break any rules in the prison system, yet he had been treated like he had. That is not right, said Dr. Martin. But you always look at the responsibility of the prison system has to keep him alive, despite the risk of solidarity, confinement on someone's overall mental health. The overriding decision was to keep him alive. Okay, we're going to skip down a little bit. Wait here. Let's see. Reby, I really hope Ricky is being treated better than he was. How can some come back from his torture? Okay, so Martin stated on November 8th, 2022 to April 13th, Richard Allen was fine. He did not have any issues. Okay. On April 13, Dr. Martin called and asked to report to Richard Allen's cell to see him. He saw Allen was naked, laying on his cot. This like and subscribe thing just keeps popping up and I can't read it. 1 second. It's got to disappear for a minute. Laying in his feces smeared on his body and brown liquid coming from his mouth. The doctor asked him if he could see Allen and the staff. Showered Allen before meeting. Dr. Martin said the meeting took place at the nurse's station. Martin said he made the assessment that Allen was psychotic and determined that Allen was compromised enough that they needed to administer involuntary medication. Okay, and now this is where it gets juicy, and I know some people might be bored with this, but as you know, all the other streams we talked about, Ron Logan and all the other suspects, but on this stream, we want to really hit on the way Richard Allen was treated. Brian Harshman, a master trooper with the Indiana State Police, was called back. Let me see if I can. Okay, no, I can't see it there. Sorry about that, guys. Was called back to the stand by the prosecution. He discussed how Richard Allen had been in a one-man cell in every Indiana Department of Corrections. Harshman said he believed the defense attorneys were saying the conditions were very poor for Allen at Westfield, but am I reading the same exact thing? Hold on. Yeah, I think that's the same one. Okay, here, wait. I must have flipped back. Okay. Dr. Martin, during the afternoon, Rosie questioned Martin's work history in Florida. Rosie asked Dr. Martin if mental illness can be made worse by an inmate put in solitary confinement, or if that mental illness could be exacerbated, to which Dr. Martin said yes, it could. He also testified Richard Allen could have moved in and out of psychosis while at Westfield. Martin said his longest meeting was with Allen for 30 minutes, and that was the first time they met. He said the majority of the meetings happened at the door of Allen's cell, and that most of them were much more brief than the first meeting. They said his medical condition, he was very psychotic. He was engaging in paranoia, and that Allen lost 50 pounds of weight. When asked to talk about the difference between solitary confinement versus a one-man cell, Martin said solitary confinement has a punitive, connotation to it, and he reiterated Allen had done nothing wrong to end up in solitary confinement. I could see how it could be confusing. Okay. Let me just make sure. Was in prison, they no longer needed it. Okay, here we go. Dr. Martin emphasized their job was to keep Richard Allen alive while he was in prison. Martin was asked for more information on June 20th, 2023, appointment with Richard Allen when he determined he no longer needed Haldo injections. Allen did continue to receive oral doses of it after the injection stopped on June 17th. Martin described how Allen told him he wanted to apologize to the family. The defense played the video on the evening. It showed Allen in some sort of medical room in the prison, sitting in what seemed to be a catatonic state. Around 10:53, Allen was shown sitting in a chair, but was barely moving. The defense said the entire video lasted more than 20 minutes. Allen looked away from the screen, and private investigators who were part of the defense team. Okay, let's skip through this. On the same day, clearly, on the redirect, Stacy Diner of the prosecution asked the doctor where the elevation took place. He said it was out of Allen's cell. He added the confession never prompted. He never asked about it, and it did seem to be spontaneous. Diner asked the doctor if his interaction with Allen that morning was different than what was shown on the video. He said yes. He was not able to explain why. Let's keep going here. Martin also told the court Allen was back to baseline mental competency in 2023 with the Haldo injection. Members of the jury, here's where it gets interesting. Another jury wondered if Allen's behavior on June 20th could be consistent with him faking. The doctor said, I don't think so. The final question focused on whether a patient could slip in and out of psychosis in a 24-hour period. And they said, yes. Judge Gull addressed. She told the 12 juries, Judge Gull's full of BS. You've heard all the evidence and the closing argument. So in this particular thing, you have, he's on Hadel. And I'm going to go into the next slide about why Hadel is so bad. One second. Okay, so the reason why he gave the confession and then he backpedaled on his wife, Drew Dow spent 15 consecutive months. This is another case of somebody in solitary confinement, Drew Dahl spent 15 consecutive months in solitary confinement. During the first week, Dahl said he bounced off the walls in his cell alone. From 2022 to 2024, for 22 to 24 hours a day, he could take about 4 steps lengthwise and 2 steps side to side before hitting the wall. He had no one to talk to and none of his personal belongings. Oh God, it's like an animal in a cage. That's what you are, Dahl recalled. The days dragged, and monotonously he felt abandoned and alone. You just become numb, Dahl said. Nothing matters. You're just sitting. You're warehoused. He's been in and out of prison since 2009, but he said the prolonged solitude permanently changed him. Okay, we're going to go to another account. Let me make it on the bigger screen, everyone. Now, in his home, Dole spends most of his time in his office with closed doors because that's where he feels safe. in the evenings, unless somebody comes and gets me, I don't sit out in the living room and my family to watch TV. I sit here. I'm comfortable. I feel safe in a small room. The door's closed. I didn't do this when I was a kid. I didn't do this when I was 30 or 40. I did this after spending a year and 3 months, which is the exact amount of time as Richard Allen in solitary confinement. Dull and other survivors of solitary confinement recounted their experiences. August 31 listening session held by the Disability Rights in North Carolina to raise awareness about physical and psychological harm experienced by a person subject to confinement. The group is advocating for ending the practice altogether. The impacts are lifelong, Dahl said. Okay, let me just see. Craig. So basically, I'm letting you know why he confessed. When somebody's in solitary confinement and they're eating their own feces, they're banging their head on the wall, they think they're God, they're drinking toilet water, and then they're telling their wife they killed the girls, even though they didn't kill the girls. And in the interrogation, they got preyed on by the detective Holman. This all adds up. So when there's a lot of people in the chat room going, well, he confessed. Well, yeah, let me lock you away for 13 months and make you talk to nobody and give you Hadol, which we're going to go over the doses he got, which was way more than the therapeutic or baseline doses. So anyways, I'm going to go back to this. Let's look at the chat real quick to see what anyone has to say. Okay, I think the psychologist was working with the state and it wasn't ethical. I agree. Absolutely, Deb. These people were in on this setup. Most be pure evil because it turns my stomach just to think about it. Oh, wait, what is this one? Did you happen to find out where is Alien now? I don't know. Doesn't look like it, in my opinion. Oklahoma. I think Hydro. Yeah, he's in Oklahoma. Okay. Solitary. Okay, so Craig Wieland is pushing to end the practice as project manager, blah, 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 a campaign against solitary confinement at Disability Rights North Carolina. He knows firsthand and harm inflicted by the extended isolation. He spent 2 30-day stints in solitary confinement, were incarcerated. In New York, more than 20 years ago, Wieland said he felt himself start to unravel. It became tougher each day to hold on to the sense of a self. Solitary confinement is torture. Nothing he is still haunted by his days spent in solitary. Even the United Nations deeming solitary confinement of more than 15 consecutive, let me hide my face, days a form of torture. Richard was there for 13 months. The body adopted to a set of standards. The Nelson Mandela rule on the treatment of incarceration people worldwide, such as prohibiting prolonging solitary confinement of more than 22 hours a day for more than 15 consecutive days. Okay, there is that one. Okay, 1 second. I believe we have one more slide. Rick is now in Oklahoma. Okay, let's see what everybody else is saying. Rick is now in Oklahoma. In my opinion, it's the way for the state to continue their games and making it difficult for visitors. I believe you on that. Just give me one quick thing here. Wait a minute. I thought I did an entire thing. Bear with me. I did an entire thing on Hadol. What the heck? Wait 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Where did this go? Okay, so statistics show significant rates of hallucination in solitary confinement, with studies finding over 40% of individuals this far. Okay, wait a minute. I did an entire thing, and I'm a little bit ticked off here. 1 second. 1 second, people. I'm sorry about that. I want to make sure. Sorry, 1 second. Where's the Hadol stuff? I guess it didn't save. Okay. June 18, 2023, the typical oral Hadal dosage for adults is 1 milligram to 15 milligrams daily for complete psychotic episodes. They were giving Richard Allen 50 milligrams daily. Okay. Now, here we have, if I can read it, early videos show Allen pacing in his 8.5 by 12.5 cell laying down. Allen said he was broken and told his wife, if this becomes too much for you, call the detectives and I'll tell them whatever. So right there, call the detectives and I will tell them absolutely whatever you want to tell them. Okay, we're going to remove this. We're going to remove this. Okay, let's go through this. Okay, so another thing I found out by reading is, here, let me put up something as I'm talking. The branches actually were moved. Law enforcement feels like when they found the girls' bodies along the tree line, they said it was consistent with someone that was just burying, hiding a body. Just give me 1 second. Okay, that's what we have here. I'm having to hold back tears thinking about it. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Please like, share, and subscribe for the channel. This is my second one of the day. Let's see who else we have here. Am I missing anybody? Okay. Okay, I'm just catching up with some of the comments here now. Okay, thanks everyone for joining me this evening. Let's go. What does everybody want to talk about right now? Do we want to go deeper into some of the suspects? I know we have really done a good job of covering all the different cases, but I wanted to talk to you about the drug Hadal that everybody is getting. Me back to the stage. So I wanted to talk to everybody about the drug Hadal that everybody is getting and why it is so effective for creating people to hallucinate. Let me read another study. The statistics of hallucination while taking, so 8 out of 10 people taking Hadal experience hallucination. The research is clear. And then we're on solitary confinement causes long-term issues. Let's go over Hadal 2 real quick. Hadal side effects, hallucinations. Hadal is an antipsychotic medication primarily used to treat hallucinations. However, by rebalancing dopamine in the brain, in some cases, the medication itself can make a worsening psychosis include hallucination, an exaggeration of existing psychotic symptoms, seeing like the wall move, things move, people being there who's not there, thinking you've done different things. I mean, it's just crazy. It's almost like they purposely gave him Hadal to actually do that to him, which I think is absolutely nuts. See what everyone says. I fear that they're... Yes, please join the channel if you like. It's $1.99. It goes to the Richard Allen Fund. I fear that this is going to go all the way up to the Supreme Court and will take a very long time. I agree with you too. As I said before, let's see, Texas lady, before Hadal almost took me out of the world. Oh boy. How so? Were you on it? I'm late. Don't worry, Fig. We're going to be on this for a while. Everyone, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I will be right back. Just give me a moment. Let me see what I can put up real quick. Let's see if I can put up a photo so you're just not looking at a chair. Okay, we're going to go over... 1 second. We'll go over our public enemy number 1. Give me 1 second. Keep joining, keep coming on, like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications. It's going to help us win this fight. Oh, guys, I am getting a couple. I'm not going to say it just yet, but I am in communication. I don't know if you saw last night with Reese Davis's wife. I am in communication with some other people that are going to be hopping on the podcast, but I'm going to be right. Okay, everybody, I am back on. Public opinion is the best thing that we can help RA right now. Oh, he went. Don't forget to stream while Ted wrestles these with technical difficulties. Oh, yeah, I went to the restroom. Rather look at the chair. I know. I'm sorry. You probably would rather look at the chair. My audio and video dropped. Really? How is it going right now? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Hey, Tracy Smith. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so we just went over that the medication that they prescribed Richard Allen that caused him to, or contributed to him to get hallucinations and make him confess and do all that horrible stuff to him while he was in jail. Another big thing too with Ron Logan. Did you know Ron Logan didn't want anybody to see his apartment and stuff? Um, Everybody was like against his apartment. I thought that was weird. He wouldn't let property investigators onto his property, and he was being a real big pain in the butt about that. I don't know if anybody's heard that in the chat. Yep, exactly. And that's the main thing for spreading the word, because what could happen to Richard Allen could happen to any of us, right? I mean, you never know. As we get older, you see more and more things. Like, for example, I got in a car accident a couple years ago, and I never got in a car accident in my life, and my car got totaled. Things happen all the time. Hi, Texas Lady. Ron Logan is the guy for sure. I did not know that. Okay, so would we like to do a call in? Would we like to call in and talk either about Ron Logan, talk about what they think, what are the next steps on the Richard Allen appeal? Does anybody know where that appeal is actually going? Does anybody know? I mean, I can look up when the next date is. I thought they said February, actually. Let me see here. 1 second. Let's see when Richard Allen's next court date is. Or if he wins the appeal, Richard Allen. Going down here. Yeah, Ron Logan was 6 feet tall. Richard Allen was way too short. Okay, so we're going through some of this type of stuff. March 27th. Okay, I've not heard anything about the appeal. Bob said March 27th. Okay, let me see here. Okay. Bob actually wrote me today. We're going to try to bring him on the show. Again, I'm a real small show. I didn't think he'd respond, but I wrote him squeaky wheel gets the grease. And he wrote and he said, would you like to do a Zoom? So I'm waiting for his reply back again. The prosecution asked for 60 days during the court. Was there any connection between Ron Logan, Keegan Klein, or Tony Klein? Yeah, I mean, that is really good. What does everybody think about this Keegan Klein connection? That's the one thing I feel like he's just a chomo making up a fake account, but I feel like talking to the girls the day of the murder. Personally, if I had a bet on it, probably nothing to do with it, but the same day he got the girls to go to the park. Yep, and the Dropbox. Can anybody talk to me a little bit about the Dropbox? Let me find. Hold on, I have. Here, wait. Let's look up this one thing. I want to show you this. I'm sure you guys all seen this. Bathroom. Wonder if I could show a video of myself in Ron Logan's bathroom showing it. I probably can't, right? Ron Logan bathroom Delphi. I think R&M Productions has it if we really wanted to see it. Hold on. Yeah, they probably won't show it. Let's see. Maybe if I go to R&M. No, I can't find it. I wonder if I can find it on X. Just give me a second. I'm going to check X. Yes, they asked for a March date. Sorry for being a little bit of a slow night just because I was on today. Let's see. I want to read your chats. We have a lot of lurkers. Come on in and enjoy the show. Just be good. Yeah. Come on in. Subscribe to the channel. I think KK was doing all that. I can't even read. It's going so fast. Yeah, learn a lot about this case through Bob Miter. Squeaky wheel on. Yep, for sure. We're definitely, hopefully, he has been in communication with me. We're a small channel. Hopefully, he wants to do it. I'm waiting on his reply. He just wrote me. I mean, I wrote him first. Let's see what else. Okay, so we went over Ron Logan. I think we went over that in very good detail. And I think we spent a lot of time on Rod Logan. We went over Brad Holder. We went over Logan, his son. We went over Patrick Westfall. We went over the fires. We went over chambering around and the inaccuracy of that with Melissa Oberg not being correct. I do think Ron Logan not wanting investigators at his property and giving him a hard time, that's something. I do think they're suspect. Deb, yes, they asked for a March date, but have until February, not 100% on the date. I think 7 or how many years. Yep. It's a really good community, Jonathan. I spent about 2 hours talking about content. We've really went through everything from like the bridge detail. Let me see if I can find some of the things for Jonathan. Do we want to get Jonathan up to speed? I can. Give me 1 second. Let's pull up. I wonder if this is it. 1 second. These people are the pros of the show. Hold on, this is loading. We're going to go through it all. Okay, I'm going to download this, and I'm just going to okay, let me ask the chat. Chat, do you mind if we get Jonathan up to speed if I read the Ron Logan? I know I've read this a lot. Would you guys mind if I briefly read to him some of the Ron Logan bullet points that point him as a suspect? Just because we've done that a lot. Go ahead, Ted. Okay. Thank you so much, Reby. You are a great moderator. Okay, let me pull up the documentation that we were using. If I can find it. Hold on a second. Okay, we're going to talk about the case against Ron Logan, if we can find it. 1 second. We have the video. We have a lot of videos of this guy. Hold on. The evidence against Ron Logan. Hold on. Let me try to see if I can put it all together. That's a video. Okay, so okay, so basically, I can't pull any of this up right now. Hold on. Okay, so Ron Logan. Here, let me see if I can make a copy of this. Okay, so the fact here, I'm just going to say it. Okay, let's go to Ron Logan here. Okay, day one, Ron Logan, right? Okay, so we have. Okay, so Ron Logan. Okay, so we have Bridge Guy. We have many different suspects. So the girls were murdered, and when they were murdered, Ron Logan's first thing to do was. God, I want to read the Nicole Robertson search warrant. 1 second. Let me see if I can find that. I've lost it. Ron Logan search warrant by Nicole Robertson. It's a PDF. Okay, I'm just going to read it straight from here. I'm not going to show the screen, but I'm going to read it all in a nutshell. Okay. Nicole Robertson swears or affirms that she believes has good cause. Now, this is the FBI week one. So without everyone going in a rabbit hole and all this conspiracy theories, this is Nicole Robertson, 18-year FBI veteran. Nicole Robertson swears or affirms that she believes she has good cause to believe the evidence of a homicide is located in the residence of Ron Logan at Delphi, Indiana. The girls were found 1,400 feet on his property, situated in the county of Carroll. It said, which is described as a white 2-story single-family dwelling situated in the county of Carroll, in state, including the detached page. Ron basically said, hey, he is an F-250. Nicole Robertson was a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, have been employed for 12 years. Prior to her employment as an FBI agent, Nicole Robertson employed as a Sauk Village, Illinois police officer for approximately 6 years. Nicole Robertson is assigned to the Maryville Resident Agency, currently participates in the investigation of violent crimes. Okay. On February 13, 2017, it was a brisk morning at approximately 1 p.m. Juvenile victims, hereafter referred to as Liberty German and Abigail Williams, were taken to the Monon High Bridge. Jonathan, it's a 160-foot tall bridge. It's abandoned. It has steps that are rotted. Okay, it's a very tricky bridge to walk across, and it's located in Delphi, Indiana. It's really a signature piece in Delphi. But even before the murders, LG and AW were walking the trail on County Road 300 North, latitude, longitude. We don't need to talk about that. At approximately 2:13, which was the last contact of Liberty German and Abby Williams' cellular device. The victims were were supposed to be picked up by a family member at 3 p.m. The victims never met with family members. At approximately 5:30 p.m. was the last successful ping of the cellular phone by AT&T. The victims, LG and AW, were located deceased on Valentine's Day of 2017 at approximately 12:17 p.m. at the above listed and longitude attitude. A suspect has been developed, now this is FBI, of a white male wearing a blue jacket, heavy physically built, wearing a cap and blue jeans. The development of this suspect was made by a 43-second video taken on Liberty German's phone, where the suspect follows victims as they are walking on the Monon High Bridge. Near the end of the video, the suspect to the victims saying down the hill. It sounds as though he is directing the victims to leave the trail they were on and enter the wooded area. No person has come forward and identified himself as the person who met the victims and made statements in Liberty German's phone. Therefore, it is believed that the person in LG's video participated in the killings. Images of the suspect have been broadcast across local news media since February 15th of 2017 as a person of interest. Libby and Abby are presumed to have made contact with the unknown male at approximately 2:15 p.m. based upon an analysis of Libby's cell phone, which recorded the video. On February 14, 2017, victims LG and AW were found dead with wounds caused by a box cutter on the property owned by Ronald Logan. A large amount of blood was lost by victims at the crime scene. Because of the nature of the victim's wounds, it is nearly certain the perpetrator would have gotten blood all over his clothing and himself. Okay, this is where it gets juicy. The location of the crime is 1,400 feet from Logan's residence. Logan is a 77-year-old man. Logan's physical build is consistent with that of the male suspect videoed on the Monon High Bridge. Logan owns farmland and cares for large animals. Logan appears in good physical condition. Logan has been interviewed several times. His voice is not inconsistent with that of the bridge guy. It was also discovered, of one of the victims was missing from the crime scene while the rest of their clothes were recovered. It also appeared the girls' bodies were moved and staged. Based upon my training, now this is an FBI special agent, okay? Based on my training and experience, it is common for perpetrators of this type of crime to take a souvenir or in some fashion memorialize the crime scene, whether by photo or electric or digital methods that are then downloaded into computers, storage devices, tablets, etc. LG and AW had no visible signs of a struggle or a fight. During the processing of the crime, some investigations located unknown fibers and unidentified hairs, which may be later used for comparison. Logan owns numerous weapons, including handguns, knives, and were observed by law enforcement officers the execution of a search warrant that took place at his home 30 days later, so he had time to remodel the bathroom. His entire house is hoarding. His entire house is a mess. His bathroom looks like bath fitter was just there. They've removed the drain tile and all the piping. Logan's home was searched as a result of a probation violation. The search was limited to the discovery of firearms included. Now, on February 2017, at approximately 9:20 a.m., Logan contacted, now this is where it gets juicy, so please pay attention, everyone. Let me make sure we're all on. Okay, so this is where it gets crazy. On February 14th, approximately 9:20 a.m., Logan contacted his cousin. Logan asked his cousin to tell the police that he came to Logan's home between 2 p.m. and 2:30 on February 13th to pick up Logan. Further, the cousin to say that he drove Logan to an aquarium store in Lafayette, Indiana. Logan told him to say they returned home to Logan's house at 5 p.m. and 5:30. On February 14th, while requesting consent to search Logan's home property, a law enforcement officer advised Logan that law enforcement would not search his home unless evidence led law enforcement to Logan's home. In that meeting, Logan told law enforcement that he did not think evidence would lead them there. Instead of just saying no, you say, I don't think evidence is going to lead you there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe there'll be some bloody clothes. I mean, I think that's a weird statement to say. That's just my opinion. I don't know, he said. A receipt from the Aquarium World in Lafayette dated February 13, 2017, with a checkout time of 5:21 p.m., was found in Logan's home on March 6. During a probation violation, Logan resides 22 miles from the store. It would take approximately 30 minutes to go to the store from Logan's home. On March 6th, during an interview with law enforcement, Logan said he was picked up around 3 p.m. Now listen, this is important, and taken straight to the Aquarium store in Lafayette. In March 6, 2017, Logan said after he was done at the Aquarium store, he was driven home. These statements, okay, this is the FBI special agent. This is an educated special agent. These statements were found to be factually false and intentionally designed to deceive law enforcement officers. On March 7, 2017, the cousin was interviewed. Ron Logan's cousin was interviewed by a law enforcement officer. The cousin told law enforcement officer that he was with Logan on Monday and that he drove Logan to the Aquarium store in Lafayette. On March 9th, 2017, the cousin was interviewed by another law enforcement officer. The trip to the Aquarium store, the cousin told law enforcement officer that he lied. He lied when he was interviewed by a law enforcement officer on March 7th at Logan's request. Explained that Logan had never asked him to lie in the past. The cousin knows that Logan has driven his vehicle while on probation, was so prohibited from driving. The cousin also said that Logan did not ask him to lie to when Logan drove to the transfer station on that same day. So the exact time frame of the murders, he asked his cousin to lie because he's driving on a suspended license, but he didn't ask his cousin to lie when he drove that same day to the transfer station, probably to dump the clothes. On March 12th, 2017, the cousin explained in an interview to law enforcement officer Logan called him on the morning of February 14th and asked him to provide the alibi for Logan's drive to the aquarium in Lafayette. The phone call was made prior to law enforcement's discovery of Libby and Abby deceased bodies. Based on special agents' finding, based on what she was trained in her 18-year history, she stated, based on investigators' experience, it is reasonable to believe that the creation of an alibi prior to the discovery of a crime indicates culpability or knowledge of the crime. The cousin said he thought the photograph of the male released by the media was the man on the bridge, was Ron Logan. That's what his cousin said. Law enforcement officers learned that Logan had driven on February 13th to the transfer station. The video of him shows him in a white Ford pickup in the transfer station. Okay, so this is what they're talking about right now. Now, this is where it gets a bit juicy. So I'm going to write data points, right? So you have one. Because of the rest of it, I know this by heart. Okay. And again, sorry everyone to be repetitive. We're just trying to get Jonathan up to speed. And then we'll go on to other things. One, You are creating a false alibi before the discovery of a crime. Okay? False alibi. 2, that same day, you didn't ask your cousin, if you were a suspended license, and yep, exactly, we call it tentacles, and you were that worried, you would have made an alibi for the transfer station, right? Okay, now the FBI said Ron Logan's cell phone pinged around 2, around 7, and then the bodies were removed around 10. His phone was by the deceased bodies. So now we have 3. We have the cell phone pinging. Okay? 4. Number 4, we have the jailhouse confession. And I talked to his wife last night, Reese Davis. He admitted to cutting the girls' necks. Yep, it's a huge red flag, exactly. He admitted to using a knife before it was known to public how the girls died. He then admitted to an inmate, and the inmate that he shared a cell with had nothing. He was not trying to get a reduced sentence. I don't always want to believe people that have committed crimes, but he's doing it not to release a sentence. And the thing that makes me have hair stand up on my back is the fact that he told Reese Davis, his cellmate, that he told the girls to come see the farm animals when he went down the hill. And again, I hope I'm not repetitive to all our members because we went through this so much. The lady on Court TV who spent a month on Ron Logan's property, Ron Logan constantly said, "Why don't you come see my animals? Why don't you come to the farm?" Ron Logan not only was telling that inmate how he killed the girls, which wasn't known to public, and then he suggested about his farm animals. And that's the same thing Court TV journalist said that brought chills to her spine. How would you even know to say that if you were BSing what Ron Logan said about farm animals? No one even thinks like that, okay? So now you have jailhouse confession. 6, you have an abusive ex-girlfriend. And again, I'm on both sides of that, right? There could be an abusive ex-boyfriend that is kind of against the girlfriend and vice versa. He chased her down with a tire iron, tried to kill her, okay? I don't even know if I can say sexually or whatever, tried to force her for sex all the time. She said he was fonded about little girls. He had a keen for younger girls to see as animals. Then the ex-girlfriend, before she knew it was a crime, saw the bridge guy on TV. She must have had it on mute or wasn't paying attention. And she looked up and she goes, "Oh, that's Ron. What is Ron doing on the bridge?" Richard Allen is 5'4". The bridge guy is over 6 feet. I have a diagram I can show you that overlaps Logan with bridge guy. Yep, I'm going to reach out actually to the ex-girlfriend too. Ron Logan died of COVID in 2020. Ron Logan's son told him that he has a big mouth. Ron Logan, when he said down the hill to that journalist, the FBI said that is not inconsistent with down the hill's voice. Actually, that's someone else. Yep, exactly, Kelly. And on another podcast, I read about James Haas, basically said the same thing in a different way and talked about it. I put the script on the screen, and it was like 3 pages of him. I think I can find it if you want me to read it. I know a lot of people in here have already heard me say this probably a million times, but I can read it for you if you would like. Sorry, let me get some water. What do you think, Kelly? Would you want to read it? I can't figure out how they're still getting away with this corruption and cover up. It's so obvious. Please, if somebody could be a member again, all for $1.99, you don't have to continue every month. It goes to a Richard Allen fund. Or if you want to subscribe, like or share, or do a super chat, that always helps, even if it's $1. I remember KK saying something about the outbuilding or something like that on Ron Logan's property, that he had a conversation about holding a girl hostage. Yeah, that could be true. Let's see here. I just read the Jimmy Haas thing last time. I think everybody's seen it. Would anyone like to call in right now and share some of their knowledge about the case? Or let's talk about the Dropbox. I still can't connect the dots. I know Keegan Klein, did they share it with each other? I know he's in jail for 40 years. I don't need you to. I was just pointing that out. Kelly, if you look on one of my videos, I want to say it was about a week ago, I put all of Jimmy, I think his name's Jimmy Haas. I put his handwriting on my live stream and we read it. It was about 3 pages. If you give me a little bit, I can post it on the community post. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. I did something on Reese Davis and Jimmy Haas on some of the people that he confessed to, because I thought that was very good information, and I'm glad you're actually bringing it up. I'm actually like dying in here. I'm sorry. I'm going to take my coat off. Oh, wait. El Pliny Girl. I can't figure out how they're still getting away. Yeah, I can't figure out how they're still getting away with all this anyways either. So we are trying to get Ron Logan's ex. I think I can get her. We are trying to get, I was talking to Diana Reese today. I'm sorry, Diana Davis, who's a sweet individual. There's stuff going on where she can't really get Reese on the phone right now. But Bob Mata is our next one. Again, I do have pretty a small group of people, but let me see if he wrote back. I mean, he definitely did write back. Here, I'll read you what he said. And then hey, Ted, nice to meet you. Would you like to have a Zoom meeting? Very truly, Bob Mata, Mata Field Sound LLC, Aurora, Illinois. I wasn't sure what he meant. I thought maybe like a Zoom meeting to kind of vet me out, or a Zoom meeting to talk about some of the bad actors in the Delphi case. I would assume someone as smart as Bob would want to meet me on Zoom and see that, I'm not insane or something, or ruin his reputation. So I'm waiting for him where we can do a Zoom and then I can get him on. Okay, wait, I'm looking at everybody. We got Reby, we got Brotherhood. We got, this community has done more to try to solve this case just in the past year than thank you, than law enforcement. Do you believe the girls were at the bridge that day? I mean, there's evidence that the girls were on the bridge that day. There's a video of them. So in my opinion, yes. Reby, thank you. We are growing this community. Thank you. I have not watched some of your lives about some of the people you've talked about. Please do. We try to, so instead of just going on videos, what I found is if I do a live stream, I can get more likes and more people watch. For some reason, down the road, I'll convert them into videos. But what I notice is when I do live streams, I can get more subs that way. The videos kind of get lost in the cloud for some reason. Can you talk about the Dropbox? That's where I would need a member to talk about the Dropbox. I can do research. There's only so many things I can do during the day with my regular job, but I've heard about the Dropbox for 5 years. So if someone wants to call up and just give us a quick rundown on it, a soup to nuts on how it works, I would love that. That would be great, Ted. Check you out. Thank you. Janine, Bob is very cool. Don't worry, he'll like you. Yeah, I know. I watched a lot of his defense diaries. Seems like a real down to earth guy from, the position he holds as a lawyer. He seems like one of the good ones. Let's see, who's this? Reby, I stuck up for you during Randy's lawsuit. Then you treat me like crap. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know if we want to be talking about Reby like that. I don't know, Reby, I'll let you handle that one. Mr. Biggles. Okay, Bob's passion for this case. Yeah, Bob has a lot of passion. I'll give him that. Bob is a great guy. So do you have the capabilities to remove him? Or do you want me to? I mean, I guess it's up to you guys. Should I remove him? I feel like I remove everybody. Why don't you guys remove him to see if it works? Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. There's no call for that. That is in poor taste. And ban him for good. We don't want anybody saying stuff like that. I don't want to put him in timeout. Just kick him out. Um, okay, so does somebody? What amazes me? Okay, Nicole Robinson was supposed to advance backtrack on this. Okay, next one. The first time I read their user, I thought it was a reference to a little worm guy from a troll movie, Mr. Dinkles, and got so excited. That's pretty funny. So, does anybody want to explain to me a little bit about the Dropbox? Does anybody have anything else that we want to go through tonight? Um, I got to get a little bit more prepared. I know we've really been hitting Delphi really hard, and I think I'm going to get other podcasters on board so we can make this a little bit more interactive. I feel like we've exhausted a lot of options with Ron Logan. What does everybody think? Does anybody would people want me to do research on the Dropbox? So the next live, it won't be tomorrow, but it'll be the next day where I can really roll up my sleeves and figure out the Dropbox. Okay. Okay. Let me write that down. Okay. Fig wants to know. Reby wants to know about the Dropbox. Yeah, I'm unclear about it too. So I'm going to try to connect the dots the best I can. What about the deaths that have occurred around this case? Yeah, we can do that. Does anyone know who Richard Allen's attorney is? I do. I just can't remember the guy's name now. I don't know about the Dropbox. Okay, so that's what we'll do. I hit about a 2 hour live stream a little bit earlier today, so getting a little tired, but I would love to do any interactive. If anybody wanted to call in and talk, feel free. I can give you the link. If anybody knows about the Dropbox, if anybody has any issues about Brad Holder or Odinism or ritualistic killing, let me know. I mean, I really don't want to leave you guys hanging by only doing this for an hour, but I feel like I might have went over a lot of different things in the last week, and I almost need to kind of go back to the drawing board and make sure we have some more compelling stuff to talk about. Okay. Yep. Hopefully Bob gets back to me. I'll try to reach out to him tomorrow and see what he has to say. Okay, it's a male and female. Yep, don't burn yourself out exactly. Yeah, I've been really going hard at it. I find it very interesting and informative. I really like this channel. I'm really glad you like this channel. Mark Lehman is one. Okay. Well, good, good. I hope. Okay, so action items for me is the Dropbox, Bob Mata. Bob Mata might be a work in progress. Hopefully, I can get through them this week. Okay, yeah, that's what I was worried about. That the algorithm would bottom out. Yeah, I definitely enjoy dinner. I'm starving. Okay, good. So I got Dropbox. I got Bob Mata. So that's what I'm going to focus my attention on. Um, and then if anybody joins a membership, you can be part of our Discord. I'm kind of old for Discord, but someone told me to do it where we're like all on this chat thread and we can share ideas. I don't know how compelling that sounds to people. I don't even know if people have Discord. It took me forever to figure out how to do it, but we have a TED Investigates Discord. In the event you don't have the money to be a member, but you do want to join Discord, let me know. Send me an email at 10investigates at gmail because, as long as you're not a troll and you want to talk about the case and share things that you find, I think it'd be a fun little community to have while we're offline trying to build more content. Who's Tracy Smith? Welcome at Tracy Smith. I don't know who Tracy Smith is. Tracy Smith. I'm sorry. She's one of our commentators. I am very sorry about that. Yeah, I know. Yep. Yep, it really is a nightmare. I don't even know how to use it. But if anybody wants to go on it, let me know. Or maybe if you wanted to do like a WhatsApp group chat thread where we all can share ideas. Again, I'm just throwing out different things out there. As you can tell, I'm tired. I've been doing intermittent fasting, trying to get my weight down a little bit. When I was in Arizona a few weeks ago, we kind of hit it hard with eating and trying to get back in shape. Um, so, yeah, if anybody wants to chat live, feel free. I think I don't really have anything else to talk about. If you want to ask me any questions in the chat or ask people in the chat, I can keep this open. Let me see if anybody responded. I'm going to be working with someone named Crystal. I'm going to be working with, yeah, hopefully we can put together a lot better content. Sorry, I'm just like, I'm pretty exhausted tonight. Yeah, thank you. If anybody wants to join, it's $1.99 membership. Or if someone wants to give someone a membership, they can. If anybody wants to just email me, has any thoughts and questions at TED Investigates. Yep, I'm definitely going to go eat and get some sleep now. I'm running on E. I'm exhausted. My main two things is no proof bridge guy is down the hill guy, and if he did the kind got this is going to be different stepping on set planks than someone walking. Okay, it's all good. Okay, well, you guys have a wonderful night. Thanks for joining. I'm going to research the Dropbox stuff, so I'll try to be on. What is today? Monday. On Wednesday. Just give me a little bit of time. Okay, well, I'm glad you love and appreciate the channel. Everyone have a nice night. Um, thank you. Ted is going to bed and eating. You guys have a nice night. Bye bye.